Are you ready, Mrs. Beaucott?
Oh, yes, thank you, nurse. I believe my husband's going to speak to Doctor first.
Would you like the screens drawn back before visiting?
No, I don't mind. I expect my husband would prefer them drawn. Is Dr. Pugh...
Dr. Hugh Pugh had an accident playing bridge last night.
Playing bridge?
A chair collapsed under him and he's broken his leg. But Dr. Qureshi is seeing your husband.
Oh, dear, I always felt that Hugh Pugh was personally in charge of my wife. We know him socially, you see. He's extremely well qualified.
The intestines are indifferent to friendship and caste, alas.
I beg your pardon. I think that rather frivolous.
I told you. As far as I'm concerned, your wife can be discharged tomorrow.
But are the tests completed to Hugh Pugh's satisfaction?
They're not completed, but there's no point in her staying on.
I would be grateful if you would check that with Hugh Pugh, just for safety's sake. It would be a great relief to me.
Did you tell him?
He's not the sort that can be told.
You're being discharged tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Yes. Hugh Pugh's broken his leg, but I saw that registrar.
Yes, well, have they found anything?
Nothing that I know.
Well, they've done all sorts of tests.
All amounting to nothing.
Well, he suggested yesterday that it might have been some kind of food poisoning.
Oh, nonsense. Why they allow these people in here, I shall never know. But the important thing is that you feel better in yourself.
Yes, but
Which is the main thing. You know, whenever you come in here for observation, you get better. It must do you good.
Owen, I don't like to come here. If only I knew what was the matter with me.
Now, I don't want you to get the teeniest, weeniest bit upset. I've got some good news, too. Yes. The letter came this morning from the Lord Chancellor.
Oh, and
Of course, I knew the Lord Lieutenant had recommended it, but I wasn't banking on anything until the official letter came. Well, aren't you pleased?
If it's what you want for yourself.
It's what I've always wanted. Mind you, if it had come a week sooner, they might have put you in a cubicle with the doctor's wives instead of this horrible workhouse bed.
It doesn't matter.
No. But what I want for you now is to be on tip-top form again. Absolutely tip-top.
Yes.
Auntie Bloodwen says you must take a firm hand.
Does she?
Yes.
I can feel her eyes on me even in here. Oh, I know she's always had reservations.
Oh, nonsense. She means well.
There's one thing, though, about being in hospital. When you're sitting beside me, we're completely alone. Isn't it funny? Coming to hospital to be alone.
Yes. Oh, Carrie, I want you home.
I wasn't expecting you. Nevertheless, you shall have a cup of tea.
Sit down, girl, fidgeting about there.
Oh, I'm very worried about Owen. Now that he's a JP, he wants a wife beside him with a bit of gumption.
There's nothing wrong with the girl at all.
That's what I said.
No, I mean...
It's all in the mind, if you ask me. All in the mind. Oh.
What's the matter?
For a man who hasn't farmed for 20 years, you've kept a lot of the muck about you still. And if you must come sponging on your son, I wish you'd leave your filth outside.
I came here to ask after Cissie.
It's Owen wants the sympathy now. man in his position.
Oh, now,
I'll
look,
go and infuse the tea. Would you like to put your stick on a bit of newspaper? Not today's, mind. Oh, poor little Dut.
Hello, Dada. Well, the letter came this morning. Confirmed. Mrs. Morgan, Clues Mallet and myself both elevated.
Cissie, I mean.
Oh, discharged tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Owen?
Yes, she's perked up quite a lot.
There's lovely. Well, now she'll be able to come with you to the ceremony.
Yes, everything's turned up trumps. But I don't know what I'd have done without you, Auntie Blood. You'd have come, wouldn't you?
Oh, now it's your wife's place.
Always know that I can count on you. Oh, thank you.
No. I'll get you your special cup.
Now, you mustn't fuss over me. Soon we'll have Cissie home and everything will be back to normal.
What does she have to say?
Oh, just the same.
Well, what did the doctors have to say, man?
Pew's broken his leg.
Oh, aye.
Yes, he was playing bridge and the chair broke under him. Antique, I believe.
Oh, leaking again, I expect. Well, what did they have to say about Cissie?
Oh, nothing pertinent. I shall see Pew when he's presentable. Now that I'm on the bench, I dare say I'll take a bit more notice.
Didn't they say you ought to take her for a bit of a holiday or something?
No?
Oh.
Here you are, Owen. I put your saccharine in.
Thank you, Auntie Blood.
Now then, there's a time and a place for everything. And I'm sure Owen has plenty to do with the stock taking. Tonight, I mean.
Oh, Blood, when you're a bloody horse of a woman,
I beg your pardon.
just said
I've
you're
worked hard all my life, Kevin. From when Owen was a little dut, ever since your Nella died.
We're all grateful, Auntie Blood, deeply grateful.
If your father had had to bring you up on the farm without a woman, there would be no question of her achieving what you have achieved. As a man and an ironmonger, no, he'd have kept you swilling with the pigs.
For God's sake, woman, you got a tongue like a hatchet.
The shop has freed you from the slavery of the land, Owen. And look what you are today.
I know, Auntie Blood.
Yes, well, I think your father ought to show some appreciation. Look at the way he dresses. Is that any way to walk into a magistrate's residence with egg flip all down his waistcoat?
Egg flip, that's
Don't
not egg
tell
flip.
me it's eggs. I can smell drink when it's a week old. Ah, you and that Pew, a proper pair together.
Me? I never play cards. I wouldn't know ace from a jack.
All I'm trying to say is that I, too, have feelings. Ever since the shop was a little market stall with naphtha flares burning in the street, crippled with arthritis, I've struggled, and it's all for Owen. Owen. And I do get a bit upset when I'm contradicted and when there's language used.
Language?
Well, I'm not used to being called a B.Y. horse of a woman.
I think you ought to apologize, Dada.
No, there's no need for that. All I'm trying to say is that I hope I've made my point.
All right, I apologize. If I had any back teeth, I'd take 'em out and cringe before you.
Oh, no, I'll attend to it. And if it's the Lord Lieutenant, I think we ought to receive him in the parlour.
Listen to me, boy. Don't ever feel sorry for her because you talked the robbing off a packet of starch.
Oh, hello, Auntie Blood. They let me come early. I didn't have my key. I haven't got enough money to pay the taxi.
Oh, go on in, Carrier. Leave it to me. How much?
4 and 6. And the case.
Case?
The case is extra, missus. It says by the clock.
2 cases are extra. 1 is hand luggage.
4 and 6 to you, Mrs. Boycott. And being as it's you, I won't expect a tip.
Heard about the gypsies, have you?
Gypsies?
When I was a girl, I undercut them for clothes pegs. Here's 5 shillings for you. You never know when you'll be wanted again.
You see, you didn't say
But she's
I-
home, that's the main thing. I'm very glad to be home too, I expect.
Yes.
What I said was you ought to have a lovely holiday. Wouldn't you like to go home to see your mother?
Well,
She
I
sees
would,
her mother
but-
at Christmas.
Oh, for God's sake, man, you can get the boat at Fishguard and be over the other side as easy as spitting your eye.
Yeah, well, later, perhaps. The important thing is that she's home. And feeling well in yourself.
Well, isn't this nice? Oh, but I haven't turned your bed yet. I wasn't informed.
Oh, there's no need to fuss, Auntie Blodwyn. I'm just glad to be home.
Leave the girl alone. She's just come in.
I'll carry your case upstairs. Oh, I paid for the taxi. 7 and 6pence.
Don't worry about the phone, boy. Aren't you going to say something to Cissie?
Oh, and it's for you. Mrs. Morgan Clue's mallet to congratulate.
Oh, excuse me.
Isn't the news wonderful? More than anything we could have hoped for all those poverty-stricken years ago.
The Lord Chancellor took one look at her. He'd sign her up on the spot. Aye, and the courts would be empty in a week because none of the crooks could stand it. Well, what did they have to say,
Oh, but it's very peculiar. I mean, Dr. Pugh never talks directly to me. But the registrar...
Oh, the blackie. Nice fella.
Yes, well, he says they've done every kind of test. And I haven't got an ulcer. No, there's nothing wrong with my digestion. But...
Well?
Well, the only explanation he can think of is that I must be suffering from some sort of allergy. You know, something I ate.
Something you ate?
Yes. Well, Dr. Pugh was going to talk to Owen about it. But he's not available for a few weeks now.
There's antiques for you.
Mrs. Morgan Clue's mallet has invited us over for a sherry morning. She's delighted. Oh, Cissie, I do think you might show some little sign of enthusiasm.
I'm sorry, Owen. I was wondering if I could go over and see my mother.
Yes. Well, we'll see.
Blanket bath.
Oh.
She's talking about going over the other side to see her mother.
Oh, it's not for me to say, of course, but a wife's place should be beside her husband.
Yes,
And if I were you, Owen, I'd put my foot right down.
perhaps.
Otherwise, within a week, believe me, we shall be going through all this again. Oh, and I don't know that I'm strong enough to go on with all the hard work if she goes away.
It's so difficult to know what's best.
Now, could you do the sheets for me? And I'll run down and get some flowers. You know how you always like flowers. Even as a little boy, you were so appreciative of my arrangements.
Yes, Auntie Blood.
But you didn't like to see me cut them, did you? I remember once you said that you didn't like to see the scissors going through the stalks. For fear they screamed, you said.
Oh, dear.
Screamed in a way we humans couldn't understand. But you didn't mind if you didn't see. Oh, you'd have been a handful if anyone else had read you.
Yes, Auntie Blood.
I've only just sat down. I've not a minute all day.
I've come for the stock sheets.
Uh-huh.
I've just discovered something very distressing. There are certain items missing from the shop.
What?
Yes, 1 or 2 articles didn't tally. Oh, it's not a wholesale theft, just odd items. 3 pounds of 6-inch nails, some tallow candles, and odd tins of things. The assistant says it's my father.
Your father?
Yes, he's been helping himself while I've been sick visiting.
Your father as well. Well, now you must clamp down on that straight away. Once that sort of thing gets root, festers.
Yes, indeed.
Now, shall I go over now and grill that girl?
Oh, what are you doing home at this time?
Oh, I just came to get the stock sheets.
Oh, shall I make a cup of tea?
No. I will.
Is anything the matter?
No. Oh, it's just I've nothing to do.
You're looking very pale again.
Oh, it's nothing.
Oh, Cissie. Here. You come and sit down.
Cissie, you haven't eaten a thing again. Oh, only been home a week, and here you are again, not eating a thing. Cissie, you must eat. Oh, and I took endless trouble scraping down that toast till it was just the way you liked it. And I cut the crusts off too. And all with my one good hand. Oh, and it's a lovely day too. Oh, there were some bonnets out in chapel Sunday. Very saucy. Oh, well, perhaps you'd like something with your Levenses. Oh. I'll take the Western mail. I thought you'd like that. There's never anything nasty in it.
How is she, Auntie?
Oh, she hasn't touched a morsel. Oh, Owen, you go. See if you can't get her to take something.
Well, I've got to go back to the shop. I only popped over on the way from the bank.
I'll go over. Now, you take your time. She isn't eating enough to keep a sparrow alive, and there isn't a delicacy that I wouldn't make for her. Tell her anything that she wants.
All right, Auntie.
Oh, it's you.
Auntie thought I might be able to persuade you. You know, I'm sure that if there's anything you fancied in the way of delicacy, Auntie would get it for you, anything. If you fancied a bit of lava bread or something.
Owen, I'm sure the reason I'm sick is something I'm eating.
Oh, no.
Yes, something I'm allergic to.
We'll wait for you, Pew. I'm sure talking about it doesn't help, you know.
You're my husband. If I can't talk to you, who can I talk to?
Anybody can talk to anybody. I'm only saying these things because I want you to get better.
Don't you think I don't?
No, but that's exactly what you said in the hospital. And the moment you come home, we're back where we started again. Oh, I don't know. You haven't been a proper wife to me for goodness knows how long.
How can you say such a thing?
Well, because a thought crossed my mind that you might be putting it on.
Putting it on?
Because you find me off-putting in a certain direction. The thought crossed you Pew's mind as well.
Oh, no.
You see, I've horrible thoughts too, horrible.
But we've been married for 18 months.
And you've been ill on and off for 12. Oh, I didn't mean that in the pejorative sense. I do care, Cissie. I'm not very romantic. I warned you that when we were married. I'm not the Casanova type. Oh, no. The reason I was 48 before I decided was that I was frightened of being laughed at by women. But you were different.
Well, Owen, listen.
You were Irish for a start. You're a bit gayer than we are here in the country. You were so small and sweet. You needed me as much as I needed you. Oh, you quite swept me off my feet in that mobile library.
Owen, please.
I'm coming to that. But now I've come to the conclusion that you don't like Auntie Blodwen.
I've never had a crossword with her.
No, but you're so ungrateful. And you don't have to lift a finger in this house.
Yes, well, perhaps I'd like to.
No. You're not strong enough. But that's the point. I don't know what I'd do without her. My father's never been one to be relied upon.
Owen, I swear to you, I know it sounds terrible.
If only you'd eat something. Oh, won't you try, just for my sake? Just your orange juice and cornflakes, to get your strength up. 'Twould buck me up no end. Here. There. Now your cornflakes. They're very nourishing. You know, Auntie Blodwen used to play a game with me when I wouldn't eat my porridge. She used to say that it was a giant's castle, and if I didn't eat it all up, he'd come back and... Oh, that'll be my father. I've got something I wish to say to him now. Eat it up. There's a good girl.
That woman is a cow.
Auntie Blodwen.
She went for me in front of the old bloody shop. A pocket full of nails was all I wanted. Anyone would think I was after the till.
And tallow candles.
What?
There were other items unaccounted for, too.
Oh, for God's sake, man. What's the point of having a son at a young monger if you can't get the odd nail on account?
Owing to certain discrepancies in the stock taking, there was a moment when I suspected the assistant.
For a couple of nails? They're looking for people like you in Tel Aviv. How's your wife?
And 2 tins of slug repellent at 18 and 6 a pair.
I asked you how your wife was. The way you were going on, you'll be raffling her
I'm
next.
telling you quite seriously, Dada. If you want anything from the shop, it's cash and carry or see me in future. Cissie's taken a turn for the better, I hope and pray. She's upstairs.
Flesh and blood. If only the good Lord had let you out on higher purchase, he might whip you back a bit quicker. Oh, you... Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Nice to see you in the pink.
Shut the door. I want you to taste that.
Taste it?
Yes. Just run your tongue round the edge.
Are you sure you should be up now?
Taste it. What is it?
Oh, I don't know. Something for the garden. Nitrates?
It's poison?
Poison? Well, it's got a lead base. Arsenic, maybe. No, that hasn't got a taste. I got some on my hands once. Where'd you get it?
I've never tasted it so strongly until this morning. But for months, not regularly, but now and again I've tasted that taste. Just a suspicion of it at the edge of my mouth.
Oh, you mean that's what's been wrong with you?
Yes.
But how?
It's been put in my food.
No.
Oh, not every day. No, nothing so obvious. But often. Once a week. Sometimes twice at weekends. It's either last thing at night or first thing in the morning. It's when Owen brings my breakfast up.
Oh, get away. You don't really mean he's been putting...
Not Owen! Her!
No. Oh, Sometimes I feel I like to swing for her myself, but she's a chapel woman, well-meaning, works hard, always has. It's just that she's, well, obnoxious with a capital X.
Give me the spoon.
She might have dipped it into something and forgot to wash it after. She's the soul of cleanliness when everyone is watching her, but when she's on her own, it's, well, under the carpet. Fan, Dan, you don't really mean it.
I couldn't think what it was. That taste. They looked at my teeth in case it was that. I had little mouth ulcers. I was vomiting all the time. I had barium meals, x-rays, and a special diet in the hospital. And then the taste went away.
But you don't really mean that she was putting it in your food?
Yes, I do.
But you would have been dead.
Not if it was in small doses. No. Just enough to make me ill and drive me away.
Drive you away?
From Owen. So that she can have him all on her own again.
Dear. Well, one thing is for sure. You'll never get Owen to believe it.
If I can prove it to him, I would.
Oh, she wouldn't let you get a word in.
Owen had a taste of it.
What?
Yes. You can stay and see if you like.
See?
Yes. There are ways of proving things.
I wonder if you'd mind going up and getting Owen.
He's just gone upstairs to wash his hands.
Well, the soup's just ready.
I'm sure he'll be down in time.
Of course. Di, Kevin, you can go. And wash your hands and face while you're up there.
If we had any more time, you could have run the lawnmower over me as well.
Right, that's the men. There we are. Dinner's ready, boys? Now then, Cissie, I want to see you eat a real good meal.
Thank you, Auntie Blodwyn. Oh, is there any bread?
I'll cut you a fresh slice.
Well, it's quite like old times. Almost like a party. Do you remember when we used to have crackers? When Auntie Blodwyn used to make me my birthday teas? You used to come over when you could.
Oh, yes, before the war, dear. Time goes by here like caterpillars.
Thank you, Auntie Blod. Bread, Owen?
Oh, thank you.
I cut that specially for you.
Oh, I'll cut some more.
No, let me.
No, it'll be no trouble.
Owen, I don't think you ought to eat so much bread at your age.
It's such lovely soup.
Well, there's reason in everything.
Building up my energy.
Thank you, Auntie Blodwyn. I've missed your beautiful flowers. Do you still have trouble with slugs?
Not while we're eating.
You're supposed to have a delicate stomach.
I just wondered, as the box looks so beautiful.
No one can ever say that I don't look after everything that belongs to me.
Well, I enjoyed that, I must say. As it's early closing day, I think I'll go and have a bit of a nap. But don't let me keep you out of the room.
I'll give you a hand with the dishes, Auntie
Oh,
Broderick.
good gracious me, no. You want to just cut up? You go sit down the settee, and I'll bring you a nice cup of tea.
Is anything wrong?
Wrong, Cissie?
I thought you were making the tea.
Well, I'm just leaving it to stand. I thought I'd see if Owen would like a glass of milk.
She's like an old vixen. They used to call her father the fox of wine sticker.
It usually takes a day, just a day. But you'd better take these.
What do you want me to do with them?
Just get them safely out of the house and then I'll tell you.
Oh.
There's a spoon in my bag. Now, they won't need a microscope for that.
Brought you some milk, Owen. And I think I ought to warn you that your father is insinuating the most terrible things. He's poisoning Cissie's mind against me.
Poisoning?
Well, he's got a hold on her in a way that isn't reasonable. And if you don't want to encourage her in her illness, I think he should be discouraged from calling. And look, when we're only the three of us and Cissie better, I don't see why you shouldn't take her away for a little holiday. Say Bill Wells. Oh, I was just suggesting to Owen that it might be a good idea if you and he went for a little holiday together. We are rather on top of each other here. To give you a break. Well, Cissie?
Drink your milk, Owen. It's a wonderful healer, milk.
Try some Lewis's drops.
No.
Oh, dear. I don't know what to give you. Shall I ring doctor?
No.
Well, a good strong purge will...
Just feel a bit faint, that's all. I had a turn in the shop when I was serving Mrs. Morgan Clue's mallet. I nearly vomited. Oh. I always attend to her personally, but I couldn't complete the order. Oh, remind me to order some more Italian garden fencing and some gnomes, not plastic.
Oh, Owen, you must think of yourself now and not the shop.
Where's Cissie?
Out, gallivanting.
And yesterday she was in bed?
I always said it was put on. And she's no good in the house. Insisted upon washing up and broke 2 dishes.
Oh, I think it must be an ulcer. I feel as if I'm being ground down internally.
You always wear a bit of a baby with a whooping cough.
Baby? I'm due to sit on the bench on Thursday. What if I'm not well enough?
You should have drunk the milk last night.
I didn't know I was going to be ill last night.
No,
Look, I think it would be best if you just let me lie still. Oh. Oh, dear. Dear.
What is the matter, Owen?
Oh, I had a bit of a turn in the shop.
Glands?
Pardon?
Is it your glands?
No, my stomach.
Oh, dear.
I don't think he's well enough to carry on a conversation just now.
Your father's in the shop?
Mm?
Yes, I saw him talking to Mrs. Morgan Clue's What's-it.
What?
I think he's been drinking.
You better go over.
But he can't have been drinking at this hour.
I saw him staggering out of the off-licence.
Oh, Mrs. Morgan Clue's mallet is a woman of the world. Her husband's on the gas board.
Please, Auntie Blodwen.
Oh, very well. But I'd better come straight back.
Oh, I think it must be the tap water. I shall speak to the borough surveyor.
It's nothing of the kind.
Oh, well, I'm not well enough to argue about it now. Oh, now I know how you feel.
Do you?
Yes.
Frightened?
Oh, yes, I'm due to sit on Thursday. There's some quite interesting cases.
No. I mean, are you frightened you might die?
Oh, Cissie.
I was.
Die?
Yes.
Oh, you poor thing. Oh, it's just a little upset. I'll be tipped up again by Thursday.
I don't think you will be. I don't think any of us will be quite the same again. Ever.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
The fact is, you've been poisoned. You feel like that because you've eaten something that was intended for me.
What?
And I made sure that you did. Because I knew I couldn't get you to believe it otherwise. It's the white powder from Auntie Bloodwind's slug killer.
Oh, rubbish! It's my father. He's been filling you up with stories. Well, fortunately, she warned me.
Warned you?
Yes, and everything she says about him is true. He's always abandoned his responsibilities. The Minister of Agriculture threw him off his farm during the war for failing to cultivate.
Owen, don't you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Look, I have been systematically poisoned, and so have you.
I'm afraid it's a lot of stories, Owen. Your father's never even been near the shop.
Oh, Cissie.
I thought perhaps she wanted to get me out of the room. And I should have thought that if you had anything to say about me, you would have the grace to say it in front of me. I can't say this is my roof now. I made the property over to Owen to save death duties years ago. Somehow or another, I've struggled on.
Yes, Auntie, you have. She has.
Owen, can't you see she'd do anything to get me out of this house?
No.
Yes!
Oh, my poor child. Dr. Hugh Pugh told me years ago how difficult it was for people to settle down out of their own country. The problems they faced and the anxieties. But you? Oh, dear, what an idea.
You poisoned me. And you poisoned Owen.
Now, Cissie, you better come and lie down.
Listen, the bread you ate yesterday and the soup, everything was intended for me.
You mental already?
Yes, now come along, Cissie. There's a good girl.
A hot compress, I think, and then a purge.
Yes, Auntie.
Yes.
I knew you wouldn't believe me. So your father's taken the plates and a spoon to the hospital to Dr. Qureshi to be analysed.
Analysed?
Yes, then we'll know beyond any shadow of doubt.
You've got to stop him.
Stop him, why?
Well, because I don't believe it.
Well, you don't believe it because you don't want to believe it. But I'm going to make you, because it's either me or Bloodwin.
Cissie.
If you want me to stay, you'll listen to me and believe me.
Oh, of course I want you to stay.
Don't say it like that because you think you're going to get something out of it. Well, your father couldn't face it either, but I made him go to the hospital, and he's coming back here as soon as he knows.
Knows? Knows what?
Whether there's enough evidence to prosecute.
Prosecute? Auntie Bloodwen?
She could have murdered me. Can't I get you to understand that either? The last time, my hair was coming out in handfuls.
Prosecute?
Come in.
I brought you some milk, Owen. Oh, Aunt Cissie, I don't want you to think that I bear any malice for what has been said. I've always been one to forgive. Always.
You'd better question her.
What?
Before somebody else does.
Question her?
Well, you're a magistrate, aren't you?
Yes?
Auntie Bloodwen, I wish to speak to you very severely.
Oh, Owen. Just to hear your voice has always been music to me. With no little ones of my own.
I wish to speak to you as a magistrate.
I'm so proud.
It has been my business since I was elevated to consider every side to every question. And to be fair, to be absolutely fair to all parties.
Of course.
Because justice has got to be seen to be done.
Oh, you say it's so lovely.
Yes, well, now then, is there any possibility that you might have, in error, by accident, without knowing, been just a little careless in the kitchen with the slug powder?
Owen, I've been racking my brains to think ever since you mentioned it.
Now, you do hate slugs. And you do tend to scatter things on that window box so near the cooking utensils.
Oh, well, I'll move it tomorrow.
Yes. But the milk.
Oh, Anna, I want to be absolutely frank with you. There is a chance that through my action, but worrying about you and my arthritis and everything, that some morsel of a foreign body might have entered into things. I must admit it.
Ah.
Oh, well, we've had such a plague of slugs this summer. I think it must be the fallout. Americans, I wouldn't be surprised.
Where have you got your best coat, huh?
I was going away, Owen.
Away?
Cissie will want to be mistress in her own house. I thought it best, for her sake.
But Auntie Blodwen...
And for yours. You'll soon clear up this little misunderstanding and tell her... She downstairs? Yeah. Oh, well, tell her that some good has come out of it anyway. Now, I've got a cousin in Treorchy. He's 90 and he's bedridden. He went there for the coal, see? But now the coal has run out. Like my welcome here. So he needs me more than you do, Owen.
Oh, Auntie Blood.
Sometimes we have to be strong to be kind. This is my sacrifice for you.
Well, what did he say?
Well, he reckons there was enough stuff in the dishes to have caused more than an upset.
More?
Yes, you were right. It was rotten with it.
You've a drink taken too?
Aye, well, she's my cousin. I've known her all my life. Hated her all my life, but...
But what?
Well, I don't like to see her down.
Down?
What are you going to do?
What do you think I'm going to do? What would you do?
Every county in Wales is different. This one is more abused than most. St. Patrick chose it to land in as a matter of interest. Oh, yes. No. What I'm trying to say is this. We have a delightful Christian habit here of letting snakes lie doggo under stones, provided we know where they are, because they are our snakes. Do you see?
You mean you want me to sweep it all under the carpet?
Well, you got the bridle on her now, the bit right under the tongue.
Sit there, Auntie Blodwen. Now, Cissie, I've been into this matter very thoroughly indeed. I owe you an apology. I think it fair to say that Auntie Blodwen has been remiss, untoward, careless, even unhygienic.
Unhygienic?
In leaving such a dangerous substance so close to the cooking utensils. Now, she admits that your illness may have been contributed to by her carelessness, and she's mortally sorry. Auntie Blodwen?
Cissie, I have wronged you, I know. But from the bottom of my
There,
heart...
there, Auntie Blood. There's more than that, Cissie. She feels that now you're well, it might be best for us if she went to her cousin Luther's at Treorchy. He's bedridden. And she feels she's done everything she can for me.
He doesn't need me anymore, Cissie. Thanks to you.
Oh, well then, water under the old bridge it is again then, boys back.
Owen, slowly, deliberately, month by month, she's poisoned me. I couldn't eat. I vomited.
I know.
But now they've analysed the dishes that you had yesterday.
Dishes?
Yes, the ones you intended for me. I gave them to Owen.
You gave them to Owen?
Yes.
But you said you broke them. Oh, you could have... Could
have what? Done to him what you tried to do to me?
Oh, there's unpleasantness. I'm not used to it. I think I'd better go before anyone says anything that anybody regrets.
Not until you admit it. Go on, admit it.
Oh,
Cissie, she's nearly 80.
Let her admit it.
Oh, very well, Auntie Blood, if it makes things easier.
Oh, dear. Well, in everybody's life, if only things were different. You thought of that? If only we could have a fresh start, we poor mortal people.
Oh, never mind your chat. Admit it before I ring the police. Come on. If my father was alive, he'd be over on the next boat to beat the living big Jesus out of you.
Your father. If I could have got you on my own, there wouldn't have been a trace of you left. Not a hair, nor a lip, nor a finger. Well, what you want to go and marry a trollop like that for? Straight off the Fishguard boat and not a penny to her name. Out for the first fool she could catch. Ever since you brought her here, I've tried to put up with the second best. But she can't take care of you like I can, Owen.
I'm his wife.
Yes. I don't know why I ever let him go to that library where you met him in the first place. The only time I let you out of my sight, you deceived me.
This is Mrs. Bowcott. Yes, Mrs. Owen Bowcott, J.P., that's right. I would like you to send a detective officer over to the house. Yes, a detective officer. It's attempted murder. I mean that exactly. Miss Blodwyn Bowcott has a confession to make.
You better go and fetch my case. I'm taking every scrap that belongs to me. If I left a bit of fly paper, it would be too good for her.